Hello and welcome to the first round of the Formula Waga 2017 season. We're at Albert Park in Australia for the opening round, watching on board with Philip Kraus, your pole sitter, after setting a 120.318 as he's making his way down to turn 3, which is undoubtedly going to be a very popular overtaking location. Jacob Reid is joining him on the front row, 0.3 of a second slower though than Philip Kraus. Then comes Wasserman, Max Shepard, Ruben Van Houding, Jan Woznica, Ricardo Candy, Paul Rosansky, Jeff Close, and Dionysus Feireos. I am going to need some work getting used to that name. I apologize, Feireos. But now coming out of the first sector into the second sector into the high-speed part of the circuit for Philip Kraus as he navigates the very high-speed left-hander, getting very close to the barrier and making his way nicely through the right-hander as well, carrying as much speed. Not quite getting up into 8th gear, breaking down into 2nd gear now for this right-hander, getting back on the throttle quickly before a fairly quick medium-speed right-hand corner. 4th gear for that one, back down, though, into 2nd gear for the penultimate corner for Philip Kraus. And through the final corner we go as he gets very, very close to that DRS sign and accelerates his way across the line to take pole position. And so on to the start of the race, where Philip Kraus had a fantastic start, but David Wasserman alongside him not so good as he came under attack from Jacob Reid, had to defend the inside line into turn 1, was just about able to hold off Reid, but then had to worry about him even more. In the background there, Jan Woznica taking 5th position and indeed pressurizing Max Shepard for 4th position after starting from 6th on the grid, already now up into 4th. You can see with the inside line for turn number 4 there, grabs that 4th position off of Max Shepard and continues on down the road, already 2 positions up. However, at a couple corners later, he ran very, very wide into turn 6 there. That's going to allow Shepard back through, and Woznica has to slot back into that 5th place position, and indeed worrying about the car behind as well. On board now with Jacob Reid at the end of lap number 1 as he tries to put the moves on Philip Kraus. Kraus not going to defend the inside line into turn number 1, interestingly, but does a great job defending around the outside and is able to get that inside line for turn number 2. In the end, Reid was able to get by and take the lead of the race, but Wasserman comes back at him at turn number 3. Can't quite get the move done through turn number 4, though. Reid does it around the outside, and it makes Wasserman a little bit slow through turn number 5. That's going to get Kraus back involved now, who was down into 3rd position, moves up to the inside at turn number 6, possibly some light contact between the two of them as they make their way through turn number 8 and on the rundown towards turn number 9 now. A little bit later that lap, and Wasserman actually loses it a little bit at the exit of turn number 12. That's going to put him under attack from Max Shepard, who was having a look at the inside of turn number 13. Gets a great run out of the corner, goes side by side into turn 14, down towards turn 15, still side by side with Wasserman. Around the outside goes Shepard. That'll give him the inside line for the final corner, and up into P3 goes Shepard. Coming down the start-finish straight now, Shepard keeping an eye on his teammate up ahead, thinking about possibly getting involved in that fight for the lead, but then unfortunately loses the back end through turn 1, slams into the barrier, and sustains heavy damage. Back on board with the battle for the lead, and this time Kraus giving it all he's got at turn 3, trying to go around the outside of Reid, but nothing doing there. Can't quite make the move stick on lap number 4, and in fact losing a bit of time. A couple of laps later though, on lap number 6, he did get the move done very briefly into turn 9, did run wide. It looked like that Reid might come back at him on the rundown towards turn number 11, but he was able to maintain that position in the meantime. Couple of corners later, and Kraus's teammate Shepard was on the attack on Wasserman on the rundown towards turn 13. With the inside line, it looked like he just about had the move done, but Wasserman hangs it around the outside. They remain side by side on the short rundown towards 14, but then Shepard, with that inside line, is able to move back up into P3. Just ahead of Shepard, though, and after just 6 laps of racing, though, Jacob Reid was already coming into the pits for his first stop. Up at the front, the two Vulcan racing drivers were running very different strategies, so Kraus actually let his teammate through as Shepard now takes the lead of this race. But it was only going to be momentarily as Shepard then pits at the end of the lap, returning the lead to Philip Kraus. Shepherd exited the pits, rejoining just ahead of Jacob Reid. Jacob Reid on the warmer tires, though, able to carry more speed through turns 1 and 2 and overtook Shepherd. Later on lap 8, though, and with Shepherd's tires all warmed up, he put the pressure on at turn number 9 and just sailed around the outside of Reid with an easy overtake, while at the end of lap number 8, his teammate Kraus was in the pits. Kraus came out of the pits and back onto the circuit just behind the battle that was going on for what is now the lead of the race, with now Shepherd leading ahead of Reid. But Reid wasn't a threat for much longer. At the start of lap number 10, he overcooked it a little bit too much into turn number 1 and put his car into the barrier, losing a position to Kraus. Lap 12 now, and Shepherd has caught up to the back of Wasserman after he went deep into turn 1. They're going to be side by side down towards turn number 3. Wasserman still has not gotten to pit, still on those same tires. Shepherd goes through pretty easily, but his teammate Philip Kraus really wants to follow through, makes short work of Wasserman. A bit of an oversteer moment from Shepherd as well allows Kraus to close right up behind his teammate, but unfortunately not enough to go side by side into turn number 6. Just a few laps later, though, on lap 15, Kraus finally got the opportunity that he wanted to with the DRS assistance on the run down towards turn number 3, is able to make the move and get past Shepherd for the lead of this race. 4 laps later, though, on lap 19, a mistake from Kraus allows Shepherd to regain the lead of the race, once again trading positions, but then another mistake from Shepherd at turn number 9 is actually going to allow Kraus to go back through, but it wouldn't matter for too much longer as Kraus was to pit at the end of lap 19. A couple of laps later, and Shepherd got his chance to go into the pits for a fresh set of tires, but not without Ferreos getting in his way a little bit. He did come out of the pits in P2, but with a pretty sizable gap to his teammate Kraus up ahead. A little bit further back, the battle for the final podium position was really starting to heat up now as Reid tried to make an overtake on Wasserman into turn number 1. They were pretty much side by side at the start of lap number 26 here. Reid just about having the position done, but not quite. Wasserman coming back at him is going to try it around the outside at turn number 3. If he can do it, he can get the inside line for turn number 4, but it looks like there's slight contact. Reid is off the circuit into the grass, and that's going to lose him a position. He's not going to get that third place position off Wasserman. Still has a couple of laps to try and get that position back, but he's got some time to make up now. But at the end of the Australian Grand Prix, after 29 laps of racing, it was Kraus who comes across the line with his teammate Shepherd not far behind, giving Vulcan Racing a 1-2 finish for the opening round here in Australia, and separated by less than 4 seconds. In the end, only 6 cars finishing 5 on the lead lap, meaning that only 6 cars getting points for this race as well. Wasserman in the end in third position, 23 seconds adrift of Kraus. Jacob Reid as well ending up 17 seconds behind Wasserman in the end. And Ricardo Candy, who we didn't see a whole lot of during these highlights, picking up 5th position and 10 points for his efforts. And unfortunately, a number of non-finishers in the race. But that is going to do it for this round here in Australia at the Albert Park in Melbourne for the first round of the Waga 2017 Championship. And it is again Philip Kraus who picks up the win, picks up the championship lead. Taking a quick look at the driver standings, no surprise it looks exactly the same as the race results, with Philip Kraus standing at the top and with his teammate Max Shepherd alongside him, just 7 points adrift. And again, David Wasserman just 3 points down in third position for the Stark Energy Racing team. And that is going to do it for the first highlights video of the Formula Waga 2017 season. Thank you all so much for joining us. I've been Justin. I will see you next time for the Bahrain Grand Prix and round number 2.